Get Moving with Qigong with me, Ellen Shapiro, is about to begin.
Yep.
I'm just waiting for class to come in.
Yep. All right, you are good to go, Ellen. And John will be here soon, I guess. So, bye-bye. Enjoy the class. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, Verna. Welcome, everyone. Everyone's just coming into class for our Get Moving with Qigong today. Hello. Let's see who's here.
Yeah.
So welcome all, welcome back. If you're returning, welcome to class. If this is your first time, your default right now setting is on mute. So if you're saying hello, you're saying anything, I can't hear you unless you unmute. And the reason I do that is just because sometimes people come on, there's background sound, they don't even realize it, and we can all hear it. So this is just a nice kind of quiet way for us to start our class. But you are welcome to unmute yourself to speak. And we are on Get Set Up. I don't know if you are aware of this or not, but Get Set Up is now having a live stream. So classes are showing up there. I think it's part of their website. I need to go check it out.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi there, welcome. I like your tropical backdrop there.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we do have somebody here from Get Set Up. We have John, who is going to be here for a few minutes. So for anybody that's new or anyone that is having any kind of issue with Zoom or anything like that, type into the chat and John will answer any questions you have. To have the best experience in this class, I recommend that you set me up on speaker view. And that's where my image is larger and everybody else's is smaller. If you're seeing a whole screen of small squares and I'm in a small square, you want to change that on your end. Change that to speaker view, because otherwise the image is going to be too small for you to really follow what I'm doing. So I think we will get started. Let's make sure everybody is muted again. And I will start our recording. I don't know why that is happening. Okay. All right. Here we go. Starting our recording. Very good. So welcome everyone to this Tuesday afternoon Get Moving with Qigong class. And hold on one second here. Let me make John the co-host as you requested. Okay, oops, what happened? All right, let me find you here. And okay, you are now co-hosting with me, John. All right, so I'm Ellen Shapiro, and I am coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where it's sunny, as it often is here, and it's also quite windy. We have the windiest spring I've ever experienced. it's not really my favorite season here, but the summer and the fall are gorgeous. So welcome to our Get Moving with Qigong class. And I teach 2 Qigong classes on Get Set Up. One is the Qigong for beginners. And that one I spend more time on background and explaining things. Here, not as much, but you can do either class at any level. Okay. Periodically, Zoom unmutes, and then we hear all kinds of things we don't really want to hear. Okay. Again, if you're having any problems with Zoom, just type into the chat, find the chat, and type in the box, and John will help you from Get Set Up for the first few minutes. This is being recorded, and you can request the recording at the end of class. And John, if you would be so kind, it's just type the email address in there for people. That would be great. It's help@getsetup.io. So the recording happens, but you do have to request it if you would like it. All right, so a couple of things, and then we'll get up and start moving. So generally, I recommend practicing Qigong barefoot or in socks. You can practice in shoes if you need that support, but ideally barefoot or in socks. Again, anything I tell you, there are no hard and fast rules. The only rule is listening to yourself and what works for you. Okay, and if you are barefoot or you do have socks, you want to make sure that your feet you're not going to slip. If you're on like a slick floor, put a yoga mat or carpet under you, or just yoga socks that have some traction. And you can't see me. I don't know why. So Pam and John, can you communicate with each other about your settings? Because I see you, Pam, but your screen is dark, and I don't need to see the people. I mean, it's nice. I like seeing your face, and I think it adds to the community. But you do need to see and hear me. So see if you can work that out. You can hear me. I don't know what to tell you about that. And I can't really deal with those technical issues, but John is here from Get Set Up, and he can assist you. It's probably some setting on your end. It also could be that your camera you're not connected. Yeah, okay, maybe that will help since I'm now spotlighted. Okay, so let's get up and start moving. And another thing to just mention is that Qigong is usually practiced standing, and it's standing in one place, which if you're not used to standing for any length of time and having your whole body weight on your feet, it can be a little bit tiring. It can be challenging. So for that reason, or for any other reason like weakness in your legs, arthritis, pain, injuries, anything like that, you're welcome to practice Qigong in a chair. And you can also do it in the chair. For some of it, stand up, see how that feels. So again, the key is listening to your own body. All right, let's come up to standing. And if you're going to use a chair, get your chair handy. Why is it so blurry? I don't know. So the typical chair I would use is a folding chair that's just light and easy to move. Whatever you use, you want to have it be sturdy and also not super soft, because then it'll sink into it, and that's not really what we want here. Okay, and wow, it is so hot and dry here. I must start with some water. Okay. How is the camera? I think it's pretty good. Let me back it up a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay. All right, that's good. So let's start by just intentionally, one of the things with Qigong, And let me just say, in case you haven't been to my beginner's class and Qigong is brand new to you, what Qigong is it's very gentle, low impact, meditative movement that is a system for healing the body and building the Qi. What is Qi? Qi is our life force, our vitality. So when we're born and we're animated, we make that, we're already alive before we come out of our mothers, but we make that first cry, and we take the big breath in, and then we are fully, our Qi is fully present. We have it through our whole lives. And then when we leave, the Qi leaves the body. So it's the force that animates everything that we do. And it's working with the Qi and building the Qi builds your strength, vitality, immunity, resilience. It has so many benefits. So I'm really glad that you're here. And let's begin by just offering a simple, like we're entering a very special practice space. We're leaving behind our day, our distractions, and we just do this simple bow into the space. Yeah, so welcome to practice today. And we'll start with some warm-ups just to get everything loose and open. And also we want to open up the joints to get the Qi flowing, because the Qi will often get stuck in the joints. And that's part of the reason why we can get injuries there. Okay. Let's just start with some shoulder swings. So just gently up and down. So it actually comes up with the palms facing up and then turning. Just gentle, go to your height. If your shoulders are tight, you just go to here. If you're more open, you can go a little higher. Slow breathing. And don't be too concerned about when to breathe. Just breathe naturally for now. Good. And now we're going to come up a little bit higher. And again, if you have arthritis or shoulder injuries, stay with this one. Stay with the smaller one. Everybody else, join me here. I bend my knees, big breath. So the main difference is I'm bending my knees and I'm coming up higher and a little bit faster. All right, slow it down. Okay, and let's do a little bit more shoulder, and this also opens the inside of the arm, which is not a place that we naturally stretch. But any muscles, and you may have noticed this, as you get older, the muscles tend to kind of bind up a bit. So we want to just open things up here. So take an inhale, coming up, and then just open to the side. And I'm not really turning my head. I'm just coming back to here. I'm not forcing. I'm just feeling how far back my arm can naturally go. Good. Bring it forward. And once more, like you're opening up here. Inhale, opening. And then let's sweep the back of the hand through the field like that. One more time. Yeah, so that should just feel like a little bit of a stretch. Okay, let's do it on the other side. Okay, inhale, opening. Reaching back. So just to the place where you feel a good stretch on the inner arm. And back. Again, inhale, open. And now turn the arm so the back of the hand is now sweeping forward like that. Coming to here. Inhaling. Exhale. And back there. So if you've been coming to class, you may notice that I try and vary the stretches, and it's just good so we don't get into a rut and so that we actually stretch different places each time we do class. Okay, let's do a side stretch here. So for this one, I'm going to bring this is my left hand, and you can be doing either your left hand or mirroring me. as long as you get to do both sides. So don't worry too much about, is she doing left or right, okay? And I'm going to sit so you can just see the full extension, but you don't need to sit. Now I'm going to take my right hand and I'm just gently stretching from the armpit over to the side. And I'm not forcing, I'm not trying to get all the way down here. I'm just going to what feels like a good side stretch. Yeah, this is also an area we don't stretch that much, our ribs, and there's some heart points right in here. So really good for opening up. Good, let that release and then switch it up. So you'll see me sit sometimes just so you can see my hands. But again, that's not really part of the demonstration, so you can stay standing. Good, let's do one more time to the other side. And notice I'm still facing front with my head. Inhale again, a good stretch, but not a strain. Do it smaller. This is too much. All right, shake that out. And speaking of shaking, let's do a little bit of that. So shaking is another way of waking up and stimulating the chi in the body. So let's just do a little, just real gentle, really just flicking from my hands. And now I'm doing a little bit more of a circular movement as I bring the hands up. Again, going up to here, if that's where you feel inclined. If you feel like going further, come all the way up above your head. And again, just so you can see it. Good. All right, letting them just slowly come down. And I want to do actually a stretch for our wrists here. Okay. So cross one over the other. Notice how the palms are down. Then I interlace. And here being very gentle. So you may just be to here. If you can, keep turning so the wrists actually go like that. If they don't go, do not force them. We do not want to hurt our wrists. And any level at which you do this is going to be good for you. Then unwind that. And then cross the other way. So I start with the palms down, interlace. Just breathing and feeling into the stretch in the wrists. Good. All right, let that go gently. All right, let's do some work for the middle and our bellies and this whole area here. So let's start again with some gentle shaking. Feet are pretty close together, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle and shake my torso, my hips, side to side. Jiggling a little bit in my thighs too. And please don't be self-conscious. Nobody's watching you. Good. So you may start to feel, after we do some of that bouncing, you might start to feel a little bit warmer or like just like some sense of tingling or things moving in your body. That's the energy, that's the chi. And that's usually what it will feel like. Either warmth, tingling, or just some sensation where you feel like something is moving around inside. If you're feeling it, that's a great sign. If you're not feeling it, no worries. It's not a concern. Okay, let's do a little bit more shaking here. Actually, let's do a bounce. So this one is just really from my knees. I'm bending my knees a little bit, making sure my knees, and this is generally true, your knees want to come over your feet and not in like that. Not good. So my feet stay flat on the floor. I'm really just bouncing from the knees, and everything else is just coming along for the ride. Okay, then let go of the bounce and let's come up into this right here. Relax your shoulders, keeping your knees a little bit bent. And what we're doing here, this is called standing at stake. We stand like this, and the arms should be rounded like that, not straight out and not to the side. It's a little hard to see from this camera angle, but round is what we want, like hugging a tree. Looking straight out. See if you can spread your toes on the floor, open them up so you have a firm base under you. And what we're doing here now is we're circulating the chi around, and through the middle of our palms, we have an energy center in our palms. We're actually directing the energy towards our heart here. And then let's go down a little lower. And now we're doing healing more for the abdominal organs here. So one of the aspects of Qigong is that this is self-healing. Okay, release that. Let's just do a little bit more for our hips and our lower body. So opening up pretty wide here. The hands are going to be on your hips, and just watch the first one here. And again, just paying attention to how open your hips and your groin area are so that you're not overstretching here. So I'm going to just turn like this, and I look to the back. So this is a good stretch for the neck and also for here. I'm going to go a little wider, and you can find your own way here. Looking back. Come up, and I go the other way. And your feet could be closer, or you could be doing just like that. That is fine. I'm going to go a little more because I want to kind of be a little closer to my edge. All right, hopefully that should feel good. If your body says no to anything I'm doing, please listen, okay? If your body says no, and then you try a little bit and the body says, oh, I could do that, then listen to that. We want to make friends with our body. So, because what we're doing here is we're supporting our health with Qigong. So that means working in partnership with our body, which is not something, it's kind of an unusual idea, I think. Okay, so we did that one. Let's just warm our hands up, just go nice and toasty. And we'll do a little bit more for the low back and the kidneys. So bring your hands, just palms against your low back here. And your kidneys depends on your anatomy, but above your hips and kind of below your ribs, somewhere in there. And you should just feel a nice healing warmth there. Good. Let's do that again. Let's warm the hands. And this time we're going to bring them down onto the knees, and we're going to kind of go just up and down, just above, on the knees and below. One more time. And this time let the hands go all around the knees, circling around front and back, behind, up above. Good. Well, let's do something, because this is time of day, can be a kind of low energy day, late afternoon. So let's do a little gentle stimulation for some more energy. And let me sit, because it'll be easier for you to see. You may sit or you may not want to. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my hands in very loose fists, very soft, and I'm just going to tap on the outside. So let me show you exactly where I am. So I'm just kind of on the side, here's my knee, so just a little below and on the side. And this is a point that gives you energy. It's called stomach 36. So you wouldn't want to keep doing this all day long. you know, just like you wouldn't want to drink coffee all day long. But, you know, it's just a useful thing to know about. Okay, let's do the other one. And just, it's kind of loose, you know, and you can do it that way, whatever works. Yeah, good. All right. And let's just do a little bit, just get your feet parallel and pretty much under your hips. So here's hip width, right? Here's the outside of my hips, and the outside edge of my feet should be pretty much in a line with that. That's hip width. It may surprise you what that is, because a lot of women think their hip width would be like here. That's really very wide. Okay, and now let's just gently rock. So bend your knees a little bit and just rock slightly forward onto the balls of your feet and slightly back onto the heels. Go back and forth a few times and really feeling the bottom of your feet against the floor. This is what we call grounding. This is really good for balance and stability. Just have a feeling of like having a solid foundation under you. Okay. And now let's do our foot and ankle warm up. So lift the right heel and just turn the whole foot, the ankle, and the knee in a circle. You can be very small, you can be bigger. And go both ways. Really pressing in, and press on the standing leg too to give you some balance. If the balance is a challenge, use the side of a chair and hold on, it's okay. I'll just demonstrate that. Okay, so now we're switching. So now I'm going to root down into my, wait, I was just doing my right, wasn't I? Okay. I'm confusing myself here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to root down to my right foot, and I'm just have this here as just a little support, and then I lift the heel. The foot is still on the ground, just the heel is lifted. Going both ways in a circle, going the other way. All right. We didn't do anything for our neck, so let's do a little bit for that very important area that's also very sensitive. So we want to be really gentle and mindful with our neck. Okay, let's see. All right, let's do this one. So just gently tilting my head to one side. I can bring my hand up. I am not forcing. I'm kind of letting the hand, the weight of the hand, gently draw the side of my head down. Notice I'm not pulling like that. This is, again, not about how low you go. It's just about how good a stretch are you getting for yourself. Okay, other way. So notice, like, I have my head is going to the left. I have my left hand over the top of my head, and it's just above my ears here. And you might notice, like I'm noticing, this side is much tighter than the other. Okay, let's do one more. This is a really good one too. Turtleneck stretch. So you hunch your shoulders up and then you stick your chin out like a turtle sticking its head out of the shell. Then you bring the head back and lower the shoulders. One more time. Hunch up those shoulders, neck out, tuck it back, relax. And let's check our alignment. Let's check our posture. So feet hip width apart, feeling like you're really firmly rooted there. Bend your knees a little bit. And now to become aware of your shoulders, lift them up, roll them back, let the shoulder blades drop down the back. Yeah, and then just feel your alignment from front to back. Do you feel pretty straight, or are you leaning forward or slightly back? All right, I think we're ready to move into our Qigong now. So take some water if you think you might need some. Checking our time, okay. All right, so in this class, in the Get Moving class, I've been building up the sequence. I've been teaching different Qigong movements, different parts of things, different kinds of Qigong that I know. My most fundamental framework is a series of Qigong movements called Morning Medical Qigong. And it's not the morning, but the name is just misleading. It could be practiced anytime. Happens to be when my teacher was practicing this, but it's a very, very healing form of Qigong. So we're going to do some of that today. Okay, so let's begin with standing and stake like we did that before. Okay, my feet are a little too wide here. Always a little bend in the knees, and also the arms are never locked straight like that. It's always a little bend, and actually here they're curved around. Feeling your feet supporting you. And now the hands are going to drift down, just loose, and drawing up a very fine thread between your thumb and your middle finger. The wrists are relaxed. One more time, lifting. We go a little bit higher. This is called Gossamer Thread. Third time is the highest. We come up a little bit higher. And then the hands again drift down, soft. And we move our hands across a surface. So notice how it's moving like on a flat plane here. We come to about here. The hands start gathering back. We come up slightly. We come down slightly and moving like this. So notice also that I sink down in my legs a little bit as the hands extend. As the hands gather back, I rise in my legs. It's not a big movement. And it can be really small if your knees are not happy campers today. And I'll give you the breath instructions here, but if you find that it's too many details, then just breathe naturally in and out through your nose. Take an inhale, exhale, move the hands out. Inhale, gathering back. Exhale. And even though the hands they're kind of still as they're moving across the tabletop, see if they can be soft and not rigid. So this is called Calm the Waters, what we're doing now. This is our first form. This is for calming. It's for the kidneys. So we use different images and metaphors here. So imagine now you're sinking down into a lake. It's a little bit murky down there. Your head is above the water though. And as you rise, you're stirring the water. And as you sink, imagine now that you're like creating a clearing, a space where you can actually see clearly into the water, where it's very calm and clear. Let's do 2 more, just really sinking into this calming feeling. It's just me shaking. All right, from here, transition. You flap the hands a little bit, and now the right is going to come underneath. And there's a feeling of kind of lifting. And then here, the hands open. They're facing each other, and then they turn. The arms extend as the palms reach out to either side. We come back. Right hand on the outside, crossed at the base of the wrist, base of the hand, top of the wrist, and we come to here. So one of the characteristics of this Qigong style that I'm teaching you is a continuity where all the forms are linked together. So we just did the transition from the first form, Calm the Waters. Now we're ready to start our next form. Opening the breath, so we bend the knees, we take in an inhale as we lift the elbows. Nice big inhale, and then we start to exhale as the hands turn. Another inhale, and an exhale. Another one, nice full breath in. Expansion. You're exhaling. You might need to take another breath here, that's fine. And then exhale. So now we're working with the lungs. And let's just enhance what we're doing with a little acupressure. So see where my fingertips are. There could be, depends on the length of your arms. You could be up here, you could be down here, anywhere in here, but wherever your fingertips land, just gently press your middle finger into that area, light massage. This is for opening up the lung points. We have lung 1 is down here and lung 2 is higher up. Anywhere in there is good. And now we take another full breath in, sinking the legs as the elbows lift. Exhaling, another inhale. Exhale. Okay, we keep going and we don't do the pressure points each time. Expanding the breath, shining your heart out. And you can feel one way to understand the mood in this form is here. It's like early in the day, we wake up, get ready to go out, maybe at the height of the day. It's just like full noon, and the afternoon, and into the evening. We come back inside. We close the curtains or the window, and we're more internal. And then we have our rest at night. And then we go through the whole night and once more. The cycle of expansion, moving out into the daylight, the active hours, the waning of the day, and finally coming back home to the quiet place. Notice I don't lock my arms like that. There's a little bend. Shoulders are relaxed, and you'll hear me remind you a few times in class about that because we always have that tendency for the shoulders to creep up. And one more inhale. And then as the hands return, they don't cross, they just come to here. Good. And from here, we'll go right into our next Qigong form. It's called Destiny Bridge. Just checking my position here. Okay, if you're new, you can watch the first time and then join me, or you can just follow right away. So I bend the knees as I'm sinking the body down, and watch what happens around here. So my elbows start to go circling back around behind the body, and then forward, and from here, hands are together, shoulders down, extending out. Now we turn the hands and come back to the collarbone. Let's continue. So again, notice the fingertips, they move, but they don't really leave the collarbone for a while here. So there's almost like a rowing feeling here. Winging back, opening my wings. Finally, now my hands reach forward. Just keep going. So here we are sinking down into the earth. We're gathering power. We're gathering energy. We're very grounded and stable as our hands reach forward out into the unknown, and we bravely look ahead because life is always kind of unknown, but especially right now. So it takes a lot of courage to just stand and be open like this. And then we take the hands and we say, okay, I'm here. I'm meeting my life day to day, minute to minute. The joy, the sorrow, the mystery, the whole thing. My eyes follow my hands as they come back to rest here. Come back a little more so you can see you better. So again, we root down. This is what gives us that calm stability right here. This is the earth element. We're working with spleen. Like a spiritual warrior, we cut through the vagueness and we look out. Suddenly there's an opening. There's some kind of clarity. Do two more. And this part may be sort of odd and unfamiliar. This is not a way we normally move. You just let yourself open up the elbows as best you can. And let's do one more. Let's sink into it. And then let's come to heart protection. So across the left and then the right. Take a minute, bring your feet together, close your eyes, and just notice, how are you feeling? Do you feel any different than when you started the class? Also notice if there's anything that needs a little stretching or releasing. Often the feet need a little shaking out. Shoulders. Let's come to Dantian, so left and then right. And just stand like that for a minute. And again, just tuning in. Do a time check here. Okay. So let's do some more forms in the morning medical series. And then I like to leave a little time at the end for questions or sharing or anything like that. Okay, so let's see. All right, I'm going to skip over a couple of the forms just for the sake of time. And let's do one form that isn't actually part of the morning medical series, but it just feels like a good one to do right now. And this is a form for the liver, which is the season of spring, which we're in now. So you can just watch the first time if you want. So I'm going to come back like that as my arms flap forward, and I come back like that. I'll show you from the side here. Not a big movement, but and we're kind of pumping this area a little bit. So it's a little bit kind of like a breaststroke. And then we're going to do it to the side, but usually we do both sides. But because we're working with the liver, which is right here, we're going to just do the right side for this one. So same movement, and I'm slightly turned, but not too much. Let me show you again. But I've got it backwards. So as the hands come back, I'm not pushing like that, but I'm just breathing out from there. And as the hands come back, this part of my body is coming back. So the feeling is a little bit like pumping. Let's do one more this way. And let's conclude this movement with a few more to the front. Okay, and just notice like that, for me, that brought up a lot of heat. It might or might have not done that for you, but that can happen when we're working with liver. Okay, let's go into the concluding forms in the morning medical series. So what we did was the first 3, and now we're going to do the last 2. So get your left hand just here. Your right hand's going to come above your head. Again, I'll sit just for demonstration. See how my fingertips, well, actually my hand is just flat like that. Then I take an inhale, stretch the hand, and now this upper hand starting to come down. And when it comes to about here, look at my fingertips are coming together. The lower hand also fingertips together. The right hand comes in to meet the left. And there's a little bit of a turning inward, like tightening the lid on a jar. Then we loosen that lid by turning the other way. And I hold, this is my left hand, I hold it firm as my right hand begins to draw up over my head, out to the side. And notice now this hand is starting to come up. And then we continue. So inhale, stretch. Now most of the movement is from the upper hand coming down into the lower. Fingertips together, turning in, turning out. That. And see how the hands are almost like in this big wheeling around, like this big ball. Okay, I'm going to come up to standing now. And just again, let me just show you. So here, this will depend. This is a good shoulder stretch. So depending on your openness, this might be sufficient. This might be the perfect place. You might want to go a little further, or if you're very open, up here. Again, don't strain. If this is a strain, go lower. Okay, and I just say that because we're so used to the gym where they're like, no pain, no gain, go for it. We don't want to go for full beyond our capacity in Qigong. We always want to stay a little bit less than our maximum. So my max would be way up here. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to about here. Now the right hand is coming down into the left, turning inward, opening. This is called silk reeling. We come up and just at eye level, the hand opens. And there's this wheeling around. Nice inhale, extending. Good stretch. So in this form, we play with like getting small, like everything comes back into this little place, like a seed under the ground. The seed stays where it is, and it's actually going to grow roots down there. Meantime, the stem of the plant is going to grow up through the soil, and here's where it breaks through the surface of the soil and opens. And we circle around. Once more, nice inhale, condensing, drawing that energy back into a small little seed or nut. And taking all that life energy and expanding it into growth. And that's what this season is, right? If we think about spring, new growth, seed that's been underground through the whole winter, and it just senses the light and it starts to grow and reach up towards that sunlight. And here's this moment where we're almost ready to start flowering, but we're in spring, not summer. So we draw it all back in. And this form is really good for that. If you've been feeling cooped up, I mean, who hasn't? If you've just been feeling like a little stir-crazy, cabin fever, if you've been feeling kind of a little irritable, all of these things are this spring energy saying, please, please, set me free. Okay, now, well, one more time. Notice also that I bend my knees as I come in, and I straighten them. So that, there's a lot of detail, and you'll notice different things, different times if you keep coming back. Okay, now from here, we move into our last form. So this hand is just going to come down like this. And about here, we're going to start turning. So I'll just demonstrate. You don't need a ball, but just kind of fun. Since I have a ball right here. So you have an imaginary ball of chi right here, and I'll just show you with a real ball. So we're just turning the ball. And this represents the chi, all of this energy we've been building. So I'll just get rid of that. Because what we do now is we start to expand the ball. It's getting bigger. So we can play with our chi. We can expand it. So this is when we start to feel like more bold and more expressed, like, hey, look at me and this big ball of chi I've got here. So you could kind of think of this as like the height of summer, right? All the flowers are, well, they bloom different times, but there's like that feeling of openness. Everything is filled with the sunlight. We're wearing less clothes, so we're feeling kind of more free. And then we start to condense the ball. Just as we have the ability to expand into joy and playfulness, we can also gather the chi back. And this makes it more concentrated. This is the form for the heart. All right, last time, press that left hand down onto the right, turn it over, press right onto left. So all the chi of our practice is now in a little tiny, maybe like almond size in our hands. And just for fun, we'll play the game of tossing the seed out, but it's precious, so we don't want it to hit the ground. We grab it back, we carry it back, and we plant it right into our belly. Planting a seed, just going around in circles, and I'm going up on the right and down on the left. Yeah, good. And then just pause, relax your shoulders. Once more, tune into your body. Close your eyes. Release any tension that's built up anywhere at all. Then bring your feet together and let's do this. So reach back behind you and into the circle. And when I've done this in a live class, we're all in the room, we're all reaching into the circle. And this is about the communal practice. So when we practice together, we build a stronger field than when we practice alone. So we reach into the communal field once more, take it back to nurture ourselves. And really taking that in. And even though we're on Zoom, we are geographically separated, we are together in this healing energy. And then we'll close the practice again with a simple bow, so it's just like that. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. And I'll come forward and talk to you and answer any questions. Change my camera view.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, questions or anything you want to share about your experience? And you can speak, unmute yourself and speak, or you can type anything you want in the chat. Yeah. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, thank you.
You're great. Good. Yeah. And
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, nobody has said anything, but if you liked it, but you felt like some of it was a little bit too much, or you started to get really tired and you want to come back, then I would say for you, try it in a chair. It is a bit of a workout, right? It works our body in a different way.
Kind of have the same similar like.
Yeah, good. So people are saying they feel good and refreshed, and make sure to stay hydrated. And something that is totally optional, but I like to do right after Qigong, is to lie down. Like at the end of yoga, they do what they call Shavasana, where you just lie on your back. Usually you're either on the floor on a yoga mat or on the bed or somewhere comfortable, and you just like completely let go. You lie on your back and you just release. And you don't have to stay there for that long, but what that does is it lets your body absorb the benefits of the practice. So again, this idea that rest is part of the practice is a new idea for a lot of people. But actually, when we're resting is when we're doing the most repair. So experiment with that if you like. Notice how you feel over the next day. And if you enjoy my class, you are always welcome to come back. This is the Tuesday class. So on Thursday, I teach the beginners class in the morning, and I teach this class at the same time on Thursday. And it's always somewhat the same and different too. So come back if you liked it. Feel free to put in any comments, and you'll get some notes, and you can again request the session recording. So the other movement class I teach here and Get Set Up is a whole different side of me. It's Ageless Grace, which is playful movement done to music. It's done in a chair. So it's a whole different thing. Yeah, try it out, Wanda. So I would sometimes, like we're out of time here, but sometimes like when I was teaching classes, in person, and I might do it here in some of my classes, depends on the time, but we went almost to the hour. It's really nice to do that relaxation. You don't even have to be there for that long, but you just completely let go and absorb. Like if you eat a big meal and you jump up right away, you don't have time to digest it. This is the same thing. It's just a chance to digest the practice and really take it into your body. So
I felt the heat. I felt the heat come up. I got warm.
Yeah.
Very warm.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. So if you're somebody that does get warm, there's a couple things. One is just maybe opening a window if you know you're going to get warm. Or what I do, actually, for me right now here in my apartment, which is a pretty warm, in my house is pretty warm. But like sometimes I might start out with layers. So in the cooler weather, I might have a little sweater on top of this, and then I take it off and I have my tank top. So you can do that, and also just remember to drink water. If it's being warm is fine, but if it's uncomfortably warm or you start to feel dehydrated, then you need to take some more water. So yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.